I've always thought about the saying, every copy of Super Mario 64 is personalized. I know it's just a hoax that is put on icebergs or an opening idea for ARGs of Super Mario 64, though to me, the idea itself is something to look at. Personalized can just represent how everyone who plays a game in general has a different experience with it. While yes, you can all technically do the same things, no one does every level the same way, or even have the same feelings about different parts of the game. Also, maybe you have a different feeling of nostalgia about it than others. This is the first time around where I actually got all 120 stars. Super Mario 64 has always held a special place in my heart, and I'll get to it later in the video. But for now, just think about the idea that games are in a way personalized. The feeling as soon as you walk inside the castle is so memorable. It seems desolate, but it has this elegant music in the background. I always like to talk to the toad that talks about being trapped in the walls. It could just mean how all the toads in Peach are trapped because of Bowser, though it could also mean Bowser has turned some literally into bricks on the wall, as in other games that's been hinted to, which is sinister as crap, but you know, okay. You'll be able to enter the first door on the left with a small star on the door. A painting sits in front of you, and that's when you can jump in and really start the game. Bob-omb Battlefield is the first level, and it really makes sure to be memorable. Every level in the game is, honestly, but this is a great start. You see exactly what you're getting yourself into with the bridges, running past some rolling balls on the mountain, until you get to the top where you meet King Bob-omb. He's one of the bosses in this game, and king of the area in this level, though you can easily defeat him by throwing him a few times. Also, you'll notice the rolling balls you dodged before have went from 2 to 3. So, I mean, you can kind of tell what that's hitting at. You even have a race with Koopa the Quick on this course, and he comes back later, pretty determined. There's one star you can't do until you get the wing cap later on, which I'll get to soon. Though the 6th star is freeing the chain chomp you can see in the level, and he busts open a cage to let you get the star. The red coin star is pretty easy on this map, as there isn't much platforming. Each level has a red coin star to do, even the Bowser levels. You meet a pink Bob-omb who opens the cannons for you to use, which can be jointly used with the wing cap. And also each of the actual full-on levels in the game, which there are 15 of, have 100 coin stars, which definitely fits being the 7th star on each, though I'm going to keep covering each in the order I did them. Also, just want to go ahead and say, S tier level, it's so memorable, fun, and settles you into the game so well. The best starting level out of any game that I've done a retrospective on so far, like no doubt. It really gets you ready and sets you in the mood of the game. Next up after that fun level is Whomp's Fortress. It'll first start off with a similar setup as Bob-omb Battlefield. You go up in a spiral sort of shape until you reach the top at this time, which is a roof with King Whomp at the end. You have to get him to lay down and ground pound him, and repeat this 2 more times. He complains about Whomps being used as building materials, and funnily enough, once he's defeated and you go back in the level, there's a new tower added where you defeated him. Just yet another weird thing in the game. Then the very next star, you run up to the top where you were before, and then scale the new tower and find the 2nd star. The next star, you put the cannon to use again by talking to the pink Bob-omb, and it opens up the cannon for you yet again. You then shoot yourself to a pole on like a side little platform next to the area where you ran up before, and you can get a star there. You have to make sure you don't miss or you literally will launch off the side. I shot myself against a brick pillar, so, there's that. There's also another one you use the cannon with where you just shoot yourself at the corner of a wall, which will then break. And then after this, do it again, and you get the star. But, the most random one I'd say has to do with the owl that you have to fly with. You go up in the tree right at the start of the level, and he comes out kind of upset that you woke him up, but he's like, okay, well, I'll carry you over to the star that you want. And then, you'll end up trying to drag him all the way over to this little cage in the sky. It's weird how this is another, another game where I have a brown owl helping me, to my destination, but, 2 in a row. You, of course, have an 8 red coin that's not too bad, and then a 100 coin, which on this level is pretty chill to deal with. If you just follow the path, you'll get most you need. And you can even go up these rolling islands at the top to get a lot of coins. Also, each level has blue coins that are on a timer, and they're worth a whole lot more. They're worth 5 each, so that's nice. And here it's the same. This level is another great starting one, while throwing in some new ideas. Higher up platforming and falling off the map are realities now. But here's the beginner level of that. It also helps you learn more about the aiming with cannons and about the unorthodox ways you'll get some of the stars. A very solid level. I'd like to take this little aside to talk about the wing cap level. It's where there's a sun on the floor in the main lobby. Once you get 10 stars, it'll pop up, and you can look up into the light, and you'll immediately appear in with the wing cap on. I turned left immediately so I could go ahead and get the 8 red coins and go down in the little circle to get them, and you'll get a star. So it's one of the secret stars that you need. And then you can go ground pound the switch, and bam, now you have wing caps appear in the levels they're in, and it replaces the see-through red boxes with now actual ones. This is the point where I went back to the first level to do that. Another secret one is Peach's Secret Slide. This is a pretty small little fun thing to do. You can get 2 secret stars from this, and you'll also find this room with 3 stained glass portraits of Peach. One leads to the slide, and also one has a 1-up, by the way. You just have to sliding down the first time to get a star, and there's also some coins and a 1-up. But the next time you can revisit it and beat it under 21 seconds. This lets you get another secret star. I decided to go ahead and do both at this time, but I mean, you could do one now and come back to it later if you wanted. The one where you slide down to get 21 seconds isn't that bad. I literally would hold down anyway, but I would notice it'd be really hard to actually hit the time even if you hold down the entire time, but you just have to make sure your turns are sharp. The first water level, Jolly Roger Bay, is up next, and before you go in, you can jump into a hole next to the aquarium. It will then teleport you inside of it, and you can collect 8 red coins for a star. And I always kind of like this. I like the colors of it. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I find it interesting. I also like you're kind of sitting there dealing with the idea of drowning. But you got to make sure to get out of there. Now we can go in the level, and immediately you'll see a haze covering the water. What's weird is this is the only time you'll experience it. It goes away once you complete the first star, and even if you click on the first star again, you can't see it unless you start a new save. That's just one of those things. I don't know, it's weird. Anyways, you swim around and you can see the eel, who's horrifying. Especially whenever I was a kid, I was like, oh, this thing is pretty creepy. But there's also a sunken ship, and you can enter it. Water to go out of the ship. And then at the top of these little platforms that you jump up, you can get a star from a yellow exclamation point block. This changes the dynamic of the level completely, having the ship rise to the surface and the eel moves into a tunnel. And like I said, the haze goes away. I still don't know why it does and why you can't ever see it again, but I don't know, it's weird. The second star is obtained from chasing him around once he comes out, and you can touch the star at the end of his tail. This causes it to go out in the water and you can just swim to it. It's also a star you get from a treasure chest in an ocean cave near where the eel is. It leads into a cave above the water with falling pillars and Goombas, and at the end there are 4 chests you have to touch in the correct order. It may take a minute just because there's no hint to it, but I mean, it's just 4 chests, so it's not that bad. I got shocked once, I think, but you'll get it, and there's another star. There's of course an 8 red coin star, and you can find the coins and clams underwater, which I always think is a pretty little cool thing, on a timed platform section as well. And one is on a stone spike looking thing. I don't know, you can climb up it. It's near the pink bomb. And then the last one, well, the last 2 are on the pirate ship rocking back and forth. That also now has this weird box sliding on it that you can't touch that hurts you. And it also has really weird physics in this game, so that's interesting. The last star, you need Metal Cap Mario. And to get there, since there's a jet stream, you have to go inside of it. And I'll show it now, but as a normal Mario, you can't, and you have to get the metal cap later, and then you can come back. You'll easily fall down to the bottom and get it as long as you kind of jump off the side and aim yourself correctly. And then of course the last is the 100 coin star. It can be kind of slow to get just because it's a water level, but it does it a lot better in my opinion than the other water level that we're going to deal with later. But I mean I think it was alright. And also you can get a lot of them from the underwater cave where there's blue coins that are very easy to get. This will let you get enough coins for 100 and the final star for the level. This level is strong to me when it comes to water levels, like I've already said, and it's a great introduction to them, but also has the weird oddities I like in the game. The haze that never comes back, the sunken ship, and the eel of course. It gives a feeling that I've never forgotten. Well, yes, I get why people say it's eerie. It's kind of comforting to me. This game just has a lot of that. A great level that most people, I think, already know about. The first snow level, Cool Mountain, is the fourth in the starting floor of the castle. I personally love snow levels. I don't know if other people hate them. I love them. And it even reminds me of the snowy Goron Mountains in a way from Majora's Mask in the last video. Or maybe at this point it was a couple videos ago. I'm recording two at the same time. I'm on the grind. If you haven't watched that one and enjoyed this by the end, consider watching it after. Sorry about the shelling, but I had to throw that in. Anyways, you'll start off at this house area where you find one of the slides of the game. You slide down and just have to make sure to live. There's a shortcut in it as well, but you have to reach the end of the slide to get a star. You also come back here again to race a big penguin for a star. And then the third star is dealing with a penguin. It's kind of weird how they all connect. You have to get this baby penguin and not throw him off the side like a horrible human, okay? I know you sinister people are out there. I know you were thinking about it. You were like, oh, he should chuck that baby penguin off the side. But no. I brought it back to its mom and received a star. There's then the mandatory red coin star, which is a little mid on this one, just because of the sliding aspect. And also you can talk to the pink bomb to get the cannon you need later. I hated the platform that this was on. I don't care. It's so small, and like there are so many chances that Mario just slides off. Kids game, oh, it irritated me still. The red coins do take you all around the mountain though, which is pretty cool. The fifth star has you rolling a snowball to a snowman head who needs a body. You have to get in front of it and guide it to the head. This can be annoying as hell just because it's finicky. Like sometimes he just won't go to it. It just feels like random like RNG. I know it's not because it's supposed to be that you guide him, but sometimes he'll just roll off the side to his death. Like thank you so much. But you can get it after a couple tries. Like it's not the worst. It's just a little annoying. He'll thank you and give you a star, which is nice. Now it's time to put that cannon to use. You head to the small place where the cannon is and then launch yourself across the gap to another area. Here you'll find a few enemies, coins, and some pathways above you at the end. You have to wall kick. It's not too bad to do. You have to jump to a wall with momentum and then press A again to wall kick. This will let you kick off and land on the next platform, and you just have to do it again and then walk across an ice bridge to the star. The 100's coin star can be irritating due to slipping around and sliding off of the map after getting far. I have a serious problem with that for some reason. But I got most of the coins from the slide and then going around the mountain, you know? Like that's pretty much what you gotta do. Also, one thing that's like cool in this level is if you walk to the end of these broken bridges, it teleports you to the end of another broken bridge. Which does help a lot. A super fun level I just always have stick out to me. I think what sticks in my mind the most are the blue penguins and the snowman head. Just cool little characters you meet throughout a cool time, literally. Sorry for the pun. Haha, hee. Of course, a super memorable level is Big Boo's Haunt. It's meant to be spookier, which makes it so awesome. It's not actually scary, but it has little spooky elements, which is nice. You have to get to the level by going in one of the small doors in the main lobby and then running towards a Boo. It'll lead you to one of my favorite areas of the main castle, the courtyard. It contains the L is real statue that people believe to hint at Luigi being in the game. It's crazy because in a way, it turned out to be true. There were Luigi models found in the game a few years ago, so in a way, it was, quote unquote, real. You see a lot of boos, and most have coins, though one has a cage looking thing inside of them. You can hit it, and it'll drop it for you. Once it's on the ground, you can run into it, and Mario will shrink and land inside. You'll be taunted by boos about, I don't know, them being, ooh, spooky, before entering the manor. Here you have to look for boos to take out. There's many in like different rooms and you can explore, but you'll also come across the famous piano that comes alive and tries to chomp you. The clanging noise really adds to the jump scare. You'll keep finding boos around you can get rid of by just hitting them while they can't see you. There's a couple in the back of the mansion as well, and once you get the smaller ones gone, a big boo appears in the starting room. You then have to hit him 1 time, 2 times, and then 3 times. And you earn your first star of the level, and also a way to the second floor of the manor. The second star is about the merry-go-round you can find in the basement of the shack near the manor. It is far down under it with water around it, but once you go in there, the fire will be coming out of one painting. Ooh, and also boos coming out of them. You can take out a few before the big boo will show up again. Dude, this guy just wants to smoke. You have to do the same thing you did before, hitting him 3 times, and then another star can be obtained after that. Next time around, you can go inside the mansion and head up to the door on the back left. This leads to a room with books that are all flying at you, which is just great. I love that the books hate me. But then there's 3 books sticking out of a bookshelf. You need to hit them in the correct order, and then the bookshelf will slide away and reveal a new area with a star. The constant red coin star is pretty fun on this one. You get to walk on a flipping floor and also go up under a couple coffins for some red coins. They slam down on you as well. Just a fun red coin star. Just probably one of the most memorable ones in the game. There's also Big Boo's balcony. Okay, when I described the level, it didn't irritate me itself, but the ending kind of did. You fight Big Boo for the 3rd time, by the way. He does not like me. Though this time, you have to wall kick in a 2nd floor room, and then this lets you reach an attic area where you can go outside. You're also going to come back here a couple more times. You fight Big Boo on a very small little balcony. You do not want to fall off or you'll have to come all the way back. Once you take him out, you'll see where the star appears, which is on top of the roof in the middle. Too bad you need to long jump onto a very small platform, not slide off the roof, and then walk on a platform that has a very awful camera angle to not slide off, and then walk over to the top of the roof. Why did they do this? Why did they feel the need? Like, I love the camera angle, but why did they feel the need to do this? I could not tell you. The last of the main stars you need in this area, the Vanish Cap, is needed. You have to do the same wall kick thing, but instead you have to go into a walkway to get the Vantage Cap, and then go do the wall kick. And when you get to that attic little area, there's a Boo portrait you can jump through. This lets you fight Mr. Big Eye, and he's like the biggest one out of those eyeball enemies throughout that you've been fighting. He's very simple though, and drops the 6th star. The 100 coin isn't too bad either. I like this level in general because of the way it looks. So I definitely don't mind going through all around it again. You can take out the eyes and boos for coins, which is very helpful. Also, there's blue coins in the attic area. Of course, red coins can help a whole lot too. This will always be a special level to me, and I'm always happy to go back to. Now we can go to the last area for this part, which is the Bowser level. Bowser in the Dark World is the first Bowser level in the game. The area looks cool, and I love the blue tinted way it looks around everything. It's so awesome to start you off. I mean, my favorite color is blue, so I'm a little biased, but I like the little blue color aesthetic, The enemies aren't too bad, and also the red coins are fairly easy to get. There's one at the beginning that I forgot about and had to run all the way back to it. Though again, they really weren't too bad, and most are in places you would expect in the level. The star is easy to get too as well, And after getting the star, you can hop down into the Bowser fight. This is the first time you fight him, and it helps you learn how. He also like tells you his like spooky little thing. Oh, you know, you're never gonna see Peach again, whatever. You know, his usual BS. You need to get behind him and grab him by his tail and then throw him into one of the mines on the side. He'll land on his back and then leave, you know, like he always does. He's always running. He'll then drop a massive key that I always think looks super cool. It leads to the next area in the castle, the basement. The new area of the basement has many more levels to offer. When you first walk in, you'll see a door behind some glass and a big star door. You can't do much here yet, so you can go ahead and head down the hallway. There will be 2 doors on your left, one leading to a level and another leading to the Vanish Cap area. Then a painting with a menacing looking fireball and a what seems to be dead end. You also run into Mips, who if you catch, gives you a star. That's pretty cool, you know what I mean? The first level I decided to go into was Hazy Ma Cave. When I was younger, I never really could get anywhere in this level for some reason. I was around 9, but still. Though, I made it through this time. The first star, you have to go through the main area of the cave. Eventually, you'll go through a door that has rolling stones coming from a hallway. I was not trying to do a pun or nothing. Rolling stones cameo right now. You have to jump across some platforms to reach it. You need to dodge the stones and make it to the door on the right. You'll then see a red grate looking thing, and here you'll step on it and it will take you down to an underground lake area. You'll see a massive sea monster looking thingy named Dory. It's actually nice, and if you ground pound it, it lets you on its head, and you can jump from that to the first star in Hazy Ma Cave. It's kind of cruel that you ground pound him, you know, but I mean, they're chill though, you know, like they're just chill with it. I like them, but it's terrible. Mario's kind of mean for that one. The next star I decided to do was the 8 red coin star here. Most of them are just found on this really slow moving grate, and it gives off like a construction site mechanism. You have to make sure it doesn't hit things, or if it does, you don't slip off. It's not that bad of a red coin star, it just takes a minute. The mechanism moves really slow to say the least, and the third star requires the metal cap. You do what you did in the first star to get to the area you need, but then instead, you get the metal cap on and run through the water. You go up a hill to a room, and here you can find a star after jumping to it. In star 4, you get to go through the actual toxic maze of the level. To get here, you need to reach a room that has a hole in it, and you'll fall in a yellow gas-covered maze. It reminds me a lot of the Operator Smoke's ability from Rainbow Six Siege. You'll constantly take damage. There's also enemies you have to deal with, like the flying Shy Guy things. The metal cap can help you not take damage, but also I would try to jump above it to not take as much damage. I actually have found the emergency maze exit star first. It's just in an area you jump to while in the maze, and you then have to grab and hang on a grating and pull yourself across to another star. And then the other maze star, you do the same thing as for getting there, except the area you jump to with the star is different. It has moss hanging from it to tell you where it is. The watch for Rolling Rock Star is found near exactly where you think it would be. You go to the Rolling Rocks area and wall kick in front of the door. You'll then reach an above area with the star just chilling there. For a 6 star, it's really easy to get. I think that's the reason there are some speedrunners who use this star for their speedrun categories. Then the 100 coin star, in my opinion, is one of the worst. It's awful. I personally hate it. It's so slow to get, way too much walking around to, and it just doesn't feel like there's that many coins in one area. There's just so much backtracking to get what you need. Hazy Ma Cave is all around one of my least favorites. It looks lame, and this follows my thoughts on just drab, poop green looking areas and games. It's a snooze fest aesthetically, and has some very boring stars. I just didn't very much enjoy it at all. Now I'm going to do another aside for the metal cap. It's found in this section of Hazy Ma Cave where Dory is. It'll then lead you to a level in the level. Here you can get an 8 red coin star by walking through the stream with the metal cap on it, showing what it does, which is a secret star. And at the end there's an area with a green switch that enables the metal cap to appear in multiple missions. At this point, I went back to Jolly Roger Bay to get that through the stream star. Lethal Lava Land is the only actual painting in the basement of the castle, which is kind of weird to think about. Like, why is there only one? And the rest are all like these hidden ones. It has a smiling fireball on it, and you can jump in and immediately tell what type of level this is going to be. The lava does a whole bunch of damage to it if you fall in, and also if you get hit by fire, you run sporadically. Oh my gosh, I understand this is a kid's game, but getting hit by fire and just running off the map to your death is so annoying. I almost lost my mind. But anyway, there's bullies you have to fight for coins and 2 big ones for stars. One big one is by itself and the other is on a different platform where you take out 3 normal bullies, which isn't too bad if you get the timing down. And then after that a big one appears and you can knock him off. And you then can get another star. Both of these are very similar. I kind of don't get why they did them twice. It's a little redundant. The 8 red coins are definitely the quickest on this level. They're all just on a Bowser picture puzzle that shuffles itself around over time. You can run around all of it to get the coins and star on the stone platform at the end. I like this one being different though, even if it is simple. One star has you go around to the other side of the cage when you spawn in, and it has a massive log that you need to roll across without falling off, and you can get another star. For stars 5 and 6, you can enter a new area in the painting, the volcano. You can see it in the middle of a spinning stone platform. You can just jump in, and both have to do with platforming. One is just scaling the volcano up one side with a long pathway that goes around the perimeter, and it just has some jumps and enemies on it. At the end you'll reach the star with a couple of stone block pillars. The other star in the volcano is done by going up the other side with an elevator-esque platform. You have to jump from one to another, because beware, one will just fall. Well, they'll both fall if they reach the end of their pathway. They'll just fall down back into the lava and you're dead. But once you get to the top of the second one, you'll jump to a tall pole, and this is honestly where I got pretty angry. The fire hit me a few times, and you get launched off and will most likely have to restart because of the lava making you lose all of your health. Though I finally got it, and then you just go up some more to another star. The 100 coin star after that was also a little irritating, but not too bad. You have a Koopa shell you can use, and honestly, this is what could be annoying. You only get one, and if you hit a wall, it just explodes, and it does not respawn. There are many platforms that you can't reach from jumping, or you'll just lose all your life. So if you lose the shell, you can't reach them. The lava can just do so much damage. But once you get plenty of coins, I'd recommend going in the volcano to finish it out. This level was pretty fun, and really stayed true to its name. The volcano was an awesome idea, and I love the design of it. Bowser puzzle for the red coins is even pretty cool. They did a lava level right, and even though I got mad at some of the things, it wasn't for some bad gameplay. It was because I sometimes had a tough time. But I beat it, and I enjoyed it. The next level is another hot one, just not as hot. Shifting Sandland is reached from jumping into the dead end wall. This level is one of my absolute favorites. I'll go ahead and say it. The first star you'll see being carried by a big bird. It looks like the one from Majora's Mask in Termina Field in a way, and it also can grab you and chuck your hat off, which is similar to how it can take your shield in that game. You need to go up a tower and jump into it. It will drop the star and you then can just get it. Another star has you using the wing cap in the level to reach the top of the pyramid, where there's a star that sticks out a lot. For the next few stars you get to enter another area within a level, the pyramid. Most levels I've noticed towards the end of the game kind of have these, I think that's just kind of what they do for, towards the end of the game. So I appreciate that. Also, I'm sorry if the mic is like iffy. This is my first time using an actual microphone instead of just my MacBook Pro speaker. So please let me know if you want me to change back, or also give me tips on how I can make this sound better. I'm sorry to have this little cutaway in this video, but I wanted to go ahead and say that. Anyways, I love the pyramid. The aesthetic is just so cool. I also just like desert designs done right, and I might be the only person to ever say that in life, but it's the truth. Inside the pyramid, you'll see one path that really ascends the pyramid. It has many different enemies like Goombas. I think they're called Spindles, and it said on the wiki Grindles. I don't know. It's the stone blocks that smile at you. Oh, because they grin. You know what? You're getting that. I'm leaving that in the video. You're getting me realizing that. The pathway goes around the pyramid's inside perimeter. There's even a place where you pull yourself across some grating, like in Hazy Ma Cave. There's running sand throughout the level and quicksand at the bottom. So don't fall in that. Well, you can, but just watch out for it sinking you. You need to spam the A button as much as you can. Once you make your way to the top, a star will be sitting in an area with a metal railing. You then can access another boss fight by standing on top of the 4 pillars around the pyramid. Once you do, the top of the pyramid literally comes off and lets you go in from there. You then get taken to a place in the pyramid you couldn't access before. This is probably my favorite star in this level and one of my favorites in the game. Here you fight 2 big old stone hands. Each you need to punch in the eye 3 times. Typically you can do this while one is attacking you and the other is waiting back. I took them both out fairly easy and got the next star. I love how it's like some ancient guardians in the tomb. I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. The 5th star is obtained from 8 red coins, which most you need to fly to with the wing cap. Some are on the ground and one is in the water, while the rest is in the air around the level. I love the views you can get while flying around in this level in general, so this star was like a great red coin to me. And for the 6th star, you have to do some really obscure stuff in the pyramid. You need to reach the top and then fall onto different platforms with sand on them. I literally would go into the close-up view, find where it was, and then, fall off and pray. You do each one, and then you'll fall into the area where that running area of sand was. And you'll hit 4 coins along the way that will then give you the 6th star of the level at the end of the sand riverway. To me, this thing is really cool, and I like how this star actually utilized it. Finally, the 100 coin star is one of the most fun to me. You of course can get all the red coins around and get the normal coins in the outside area. You can obtain most here, and then if you need some extras, head into the pyramid. There's plenty in the pyramid to get, so you shouldn't have much of a problem in terms of the 100 coin star. The level is just so great. From the desert aesthetic, the 6 stars being fun, and the awesome pyramid in the middle, I can't at all get enough of it. You also have one of the most cool bosses to fight in the game, for sure. And many of the stars let you really see the area in its entirety, which is just so great to me. An absolute banger of a level. I can't say it enough. I'll go ahead and take this little side tangent about the Vanish Cap, which is found from going into the other door in the basement, and it leads you to a place where you can ground pound 2 platforms to drain the moat of Peach's castle. And this then lets you reach a hole in the ground that leads to the Vanish Cap level. You should of course try to get the red coin star. It can be a little annoying because of the rising platforms that can just slide you right off, but other than that it's not too bad. And you then can hit the blue switch for the Vanish Cap to be around, and this is when I decided to go back and do that star on Big Boo's Hunt I talked about. One thing I've noticed though, so all these caps always have 1 star on the first floor levels that you couldn't get until you do this. So that's kind of interesting. But anyways, now on to the final level of the basement, Dire Docks. The first star is just meant for you to open the Bowser level up in the room Dire Docks is in. You do this by swimming a whole bunch, and then you literally have to go through a tube. Like, it takes forever. It takes so long. I can't underestimate that. And then you get on top of Bowser's submarine. By the way, the rest of these stars you technically can't do until you do the Bowser level, but I'm going to cover them all in order on this level section and then go to the Bowser level just to make this easier to follow. The second star is obtained by touching chests around the jet stream in the starting area in order. You also don't want to get pulled into the jet stream because you instantly will lose all your health and get sucked into an abyss. Once you touch all 4 in order, you'll earn the star. The red coin star here is one of my least favorite, to be honest. It's just tedious, not hard. You have to jump between these moving poles on the roof of the map, and if you miss one, you'll have to get back up and jump between them again. You just have to keep jumping between them until you get taken to all 8 red coins. And then the star is just waiting on the middle platform. Just a lot of waiting around. There's then 2 stars where you go through water rings. The first is in a jet stream in the second area of the map. And you can go through 5 rings coming from the jet stream at the top. They'll just keep going up to you. And then use the metal cap to get the star as you have before in a jet stream. The other is by following the Manor in the first area you see swimming around. That is the one part of the level I do enjoy. I like the little marine life at the beginning. But yeah, so you go behind him and you follow him and you go through 5 rings, I believe, again. And you get another star. The 6th star of the level is obtained by using the metal and vanish cap at the same time. Use the metal cap to sink to the bottom, and then the vanish cap to go through some metal bars to reach a star. The 100 coin star isn't the worst. The only problem is that I got yanked out one time by the hole in the water that leads to the outside of the castle, so you lose all your progress of the 100 coins and have to make your way all the way back to the level. It made me really frustrated, I won't lie. It's just one of the biggest inconveniences in the game I've ever seen. In my opinion, this level just sucks. It literally doesn't do water levels right, and there's way too much slow swimming and boring stars that take too long. Everything about it just feels inconvenient. This is what I feel like people complain about when they don't like water levels, because Jolly Roger Bay did what this level was trying to do so much better. Like I really feel like when people complain about water levels, I feel like they're just thinking of Dire Docks, because PU, this level blows. Now we can start with the Bowser level, Bowser in the Fire Sea, which is the second one, and is accessible after doing the first star on Dire Docks, like I said before. It's a lava-filled landscape with orange fire as the background of it. The red coin star wasn't too bad to get. I don't enjoy the Bowser level as much as in the Dark World, honestly. But that isn't really the level's fault. It's more so because I just love the Dark World aesthetic a whole lot more, like I emphasized in that part. But also, lava can just be annoying, mainly when you launch up and run around like an idiot. I will say though, the design of the level is pretty cool all around. I like the fire sea, like that. I mean, that is interesting. And once you reach the end, you fall down a weird hole, spring-looking thing. I don't get why this one looks different like it does. This leads to Bowser, where you fight him the same way as last time. He gives his little spiel, and then you pick him up, spin him around, and chuck him into a mine or bomb, whatever you want to call it, on the side. He'll flip over and complain again, and this gives you a key to ascend up to a higher story of the castle. This boss fight was just a repeat of the last one, but the aesthetic of the level makes me not completely dislike it, and after you get out, it's time to head up to the next floor. Which is, in my opinion, my favorite. You can go back in the main lobby and unlock the door in the middle from the stairs. This leads to my favorite section of the castle, as I emphasized in the last part. This is probably a pretty basic take, but who cares? It leads up many more stairs to a circular area with 2 paintings you can enter, as well as 2 that you can reach in different rooms. One room has 3 paintings in it that all look the same, just different sizes. And the other room is one of my favorites in the game in general. It just has a massive mirror you can see yourself in. I'm going to cover each of the levels in order they are listed, even though I personally did them out of order. This is another snow level, so you know I'm going to love it. Snowmans Land is awesome. You find it in the mirror room of the floor, and it's on a wall that on one side has no painting. When you first enter, you'll see why it's named Snowmans Land. There's a massive snowman in the center that you can scale around. It has some skinny walkways, but at least you don't get launched off of the map to your demise if you fall. But once you get to an icy walkway, the snowman will complain about a pest walking on him. Then he starts blowing air out. I of course did get hit by this a few times, just because I'm trash, and you'll get sent off back to where you started, but at least you don't die, you know? What you need to do is to make sure not to slip too much on the icy walkway and stand next to the big penguin to block the air being blown out. He'll moonwalk on you and nearly cause you to get sent, but if you do stay next to him, you're fine. And then you can reach the top for a star. You know, that's typically, there's a lot that follow that trope. There's also a bully on this level, just like Lethal Lava Land, except it's made out of ice instead of like metal. It's, you know, you just need to do the same thing as before, and you also fight him on an icy platform, so that's a little different. But you know, you just punch him, and then he falls into extremely cold water instead of lava this time. I don't know how ice falls into ice and disintegrates, but I mean, you know, I guess. Like, it would make sense if it was like actual water, but it's like ice that if you touch, you take damage, so I would imagine, I don't know. Anyways, you know, we hit him in that instead of lava this time. This water also does damage to you, like I said, and this star overall is just pretty simple. Another star is literally right at the beginning. There's just a small ice block maze you need to get your way through, and it's very small. It looks kind of cool though. The 4th star is found in an area you can't reach unless you jump on top of one of the whirly flower enemies in the water of the level. There's a brick cliff. There's a brick cliff that's high up, but if you jump off of one of these enemies, you can reach that part of the level and find a star. You also need to go here for the next 2 stars too, so really it's like 3 stars you're going here. The first is the 8 red coin star, which is pretty easy to get as long as you don't break the Koopa shell. That seems to be a running theme. You need to get 1 red coin specifically that's too far in the ice water to reach, and it's up under the ice platform. The rest are just on a slope from the Koopa shell and around the beginning of the map. Star 6 has you entering an inside area in the level. Like I said, but most of these have them at this point. This is the igloo this time, and you need the Koopa shell to ride up a very steep slope to an igloo you can go inside. And once in, you'll see a big ice maze. It's like they got the 3rd star and combined it with the 5th one. But what you need to do is find the vanish cap inside of the igloo, and this will let you jump through the ice, and with this you can jump into the ice block where the star is. The 100 coin star is a lot of fun on this level to me. You get to ride the Koopa shell for most of it, and there's just a whole bunch of coins you can collect with it. And they're all around the outside of the map, and there's also a good bit of enemies to fight, and a new mimic type enemy that I somehow fell for about 5 times. I like that you can't fall off of the map either. It's just a nice break from constantly dealing with that. You just need to make sure you have at least the Koopa shell to get to the igloo, and you can get a good bit outside, and then go in the igloo and get so many using the vanish cap. And finally reach that 100 coin marker. I love Snowman's Land a whole lot. From the music, the snowman, and new enemies, I had a great time. The Koopa shell riding was also a whole lot of fun, and you shouldn't ever bypass this level in my opinion. Also, getting into it from the mirror room is always so cool. Just an area that always sticks out to me when I think of Super Mario 64. Wet Dry World is one of the most famous levels from this game. It has so many entries on icebergs, and so many people say it has some weird energy to it. The music is off, and the underground city can be odd as well. Especially because we see no humans in this game. Just these human-made structures. Also, the skybox is an actual city image in the background. All this combined sparks so many ideas, and also makes people remember it in an eerie way. I somewhat enjoy this level, and through the stars, I'll get to why. Though first, when you jump in, depending on where in the painting you hit, the water will be at different levels, but quickly you'll find out that there's diamonds you can touch that move the water level up and down. The first star is found on these platforms with arrows on them, and if you stand on them, they'll move the way that the arrows are pointing. There's an electric ball who can hit you while doing this. But either way, you'll be fine. You just go through these and can grab a star at the end. The top of the town star is literally exactly what it says. You need to reach to the top area where there's a chuckya and get on this small wooden beam. And you just need to walk to the end and jump on a platform with a yellow exclamation point block. You can hit it and collect the star from it. A pretty simple star. The next star is another finding secrets ones. Honestly, these are cool, but also kind of just like there's no hint to them. You just see random things that stick out and hope they're the right thing. I don't know. I feel like they could have been done better. But anyway, you can find all of them in different water levels throughout. There's one at a block you push, another where you come out of a block, like a coin comes out of a block, and somewhere you break a block. It's not too bad. These can just, like I said, be obscure sometimes, which I do like, but I can just see how it can be annoying. There's another star where you need to lower the water level all the way, and then go to the top of the area and stand on a random wooden area on the side of the very tall cage that you can see. It'll start falling down, and you need to walk off the side to reach the ground in time, or it'll just go back up without you. But anyways, you can jump on the platform at the bottom, and this carries you up to a star. Not too bad of a star. The next two stars though are definitely both my favorite, and they both take place in the underground city. You'll need to access it while the water is the highest up that it can be, and you can swim and jump over the cage area. I also know you can use the cannon as well, but this is my preferred method. You then just need to swim through the water pathway, making sure you have plenty of breath, and once you make it far enough, you'll reach the underground town. It has a steeple and many buildings around it. The first star is getting 8 red coins here, and it just takes jumping around the buildings to get. It took me a minute because I'm bad at not falling off of things, but overall, it's a pretty solid level. The next star, you need to do the same thing of getting to the town, but this time when you get there, you need to get the vanish cap and run through the cage in the town for a star. Now at the end, you of course have the 100 coin star. The first time I did this, the game put the star too far away from me, and to say the least, I was pretty disappointed. I literally was like centimeters away, I just couldn't jump out of the water enough. Then the next time, I actually found the blue coin part and finished the 100 coins pretty quick. After doing it once, I guess you get it down. It just takes a lot of swimming and also changing up the water level. This level always sticks out to me a lot, mainly because of the role it has in the discussion of Super Mario 64, because so many people say it seems off-putting. And in a way, I can see that. The underground desolate city definitely is a throw-off for this game. But again, I always find a comfort in most of these levels. The parts that felt odd as a kid, I now enjoy remembering the mystery it put in my head then. Wet Dry World is a great world, and I'm happy they put one like this in the game. Another absolute amazing level I will never forget. Tall Mountain is up next. The portrait I even like. It's very small, but you can see the mushrooms in it, and when you enter, you'll start up toward the bottom of the mountain with a flowing waterfall. The first star is doing exactly what you would expect from a mountain level, scaling it. You run in a spiral shape up the mountain, and I also use the shortcut where the 8 red coins are. Helps you cut a lot out of the mountain, and it isn't too bad to get through. There's also rolling balls you need to dodge, and you'll also see mushrooms around you that you'll get to later. At the top, you'll get star 1 for the level, and star 2 is the same with getting to the top, but now there's a monkey that you need to catch, and when you do, he'll open up the star cage that he created when you let it go of him. This lets you access that star. The red coin star is obtained from getting red coins around that shortcut area that I just discussed, but also there are mushroom platforms you can jump on around the same area that have them. You really need to make sure not to fall off, but you can get rest of the coins there and the star. There's also another slide in this level, and you need to scale the mountain again and reach an area with a lot of coins. And from here, you can go through a square area to access a weird looking slide. It just has weird designs around it. I'm surprised people don't bring it up that much. But it's another quick and fun segment. If you live at the end, of course, you get another star. There's another star I got out of order where you go up the mountain and there's a star behind the waterfall at the top. You can step on a pressure plate to create a stone that can help you land on where the star is. You just have to make sure to time it right or you have to go up again. The 6th star, I won't lie, it kind of irritated me a lot more than it should have. You just need the cannon and it seems pretty simple. Just launch yourself to a lone mushroom in the distance for a star. The problem was, I missed it about 3 or 4 times somehow. It's my fault, but damn, I was so annoyed of it for a minute. I got it eventually, but just, my god. The 100 coin star was a lot of fun though. You get to see a lot of the level again, of course. And if you want, you could do the slide for a lot of coins. There is a lot of coins around though. Luckily, while scaling the mountain, I got most of them. It's not a bad time at all in my opinion. I'm also a little biased because I do really love this level and design. The mushrooms just look great and the mountain is just awesome. The blue sky always makes me nostalgic for some reason. An awesome level design and a lot of fun stars I always remember. I will go ahead and cut to this. Tiny Huge Island very much irritated the hell out of me. And I don't really care for it. Any Tiny Huge Island fans, I'm sorry. I still appreciate y'all. I'm glad y'all are here watching. I don't like the level though. It's kind of buns. Its portrait is in a room with 3 portraits in it. The left one is small, so Mario will seem huge. And then on the right, the portrait is big, so Mario seems very small. The middle portrait just doesn't do anything. This mechanic is obviously what the entire level is based on. The first star you need to be small and walk to a grass area with giant piranha plants. 5 of them will spawn, and once you pluck them all, you'll receive star 1. Star 2 is yet another star where you need to scale a place to the highest area of it. You just need to run around the mountain and also ride a very inconsistent gust of wind. If you fall off, of course, you lose a life, but you can scale to the top and earn another star. For the 3rd star, you can have a rematch with a past foe, Koopa the Quick. Though now, he's a 5-star athlete running a 4.2 at the NFL Combine. Like, seriously. He's a lot faster, and he's not playing. And you need to make sure to do a long jump about 1,000,000 times to get ahead of him, before running across the bridge with the wind that hates you. I barely made it in time, and it's literally just because you can't long jump where the bridge is, so you have to spam long jump before it, and then just run across it and hope. I really wish that I had the skill of speedrunners, but sadly, I don't. There's yet another secret base star, where you have to find 5 secrets that are super small for a star. It took me way longer than it should have. It's just because I kept falling to the abyss. And then you have to completely restart, obviously. The 5th and 6th star are probably the most memorable, and I don't dislike them as much. The first is reached by entering a small entrance with a wooden bridge on the side of the mountain, and all 8 red coins are in here on small platforms, and you can reach the star with an above grating that you cling to. Though the 6th star, you get to fight a new boss, Wiggler. You have to reach the top of the mountain and ground pound to drain water on him. You then can enter inside and find Wiggler mad that you just dumped water all over him, and you can make him more angry by jumping on him, and now you need to ground pound him 3 times. He'll get faster and faster if you do this. It's not too bad, but he can get really fast. You mostly can counter it by just waiting on him to come to you, because he's a bum. You know, and you just ground pound him and bam, another star. The 100 coin star is honestly my second least favorite. I already don't like the level, and this didn't help. There's so many places to just get insta-removed from the world and have to restart. Not to mention you need to ground pound Goombas for blue coins, but if you accidentally step on them, you get 1. So that can multiply so quick in all the coins that you miss. You want to make sure to hit all these ground pounds. It took me many tries, I won't lie, though I did finally get it, and after this you can head up another flight of stairs and enter the final stretch. I personally love everything about the design. Though one of the levels is one of my absolute favorites, the other annoyed me to no end. You'll see a massive clock, a big star door with endless stairs, and 2 holes in the wall. One leading to the final main level of the 15. Though again, I do love the starry look of this part of the castle. I really felt happy at this moment to have made it such a long way. Now, we're in the end game. The first level is actually inside the clock, and it's called Tock Clock. You need to jump into the clock face to enter it, and also depending on where the minute hand is when you jump in, it changes how fast the mechanisms in the level move. On 3, they slowly rotate. On 6, they are normal speed, and on 9, they very quickly rotate. But then on 12, they all freeze in place. When you go inside, the first star follows the pattern a lot of them do, which is just running through the pathway it leads you. You'll encounter many moving and rotating platforms on the way, and also some enemies. There's even some places that shoot fire, so watch out for that. The nice thing about this level is that if you fall near the top, normally you can get lucky and land on a lower part of the map. This is because most of the level is on the rim around the wall of the level. The first star you can find in a cage at the end of the pathway that you follow. The next star requires you to do the same thing, but then you go past the cage and up some moving platforms. You need to go to a place with moving pendulums and a moving box that can squish you. It's not very hard to get by, and at the end of the small obstacle course is the second star. The third star lets you use the hand in the middle of the level, which is really cool to me. This level design I really can't get over. After such a bum level of Tiny Huge Island, this one is so amazing, and they use the clock design so well. It creates platforming that really feels in character for the map. I feel like so many are just grassy terrains, but here you really feel like you're inside of a clock. Though back to the star. The hand isn't too bad to get to, and you just get on it and then rotate until you reach the star on the other wall. The stomp on the thwomp star is honestly so weird. My first thought was, why is there a thwomp in here? It's not too hard to find. You need to go up above where the cage star was, and you'll reach another clock hand to get on. It will carry you over to a conveyor belt leading to the thwomp. It's like it's trying to get you crushed by it. Though you can easily just jump on top of the thwomp and ride it up to the star. The fifth star is another one where you go past that first cage star farther up. But instead of going the way to the hand, you go the other way, and here you run into bars popping in and out of the wall. You need to just time jumping up them until you reach the fifth star. It's not very hard, but can be annoying if you're in the clock while it's fast. The final of the main stars for the level is the 8 red coin star, and honestly, it's probably either the easiest or the second easiest, next to the lethal lava land one. Here you need to go in the clock while the minute hand is on 12, so it's frozen on the inside. As soon as the level starts, you can go to the cage looking area next to you with frozen platforms. You just jump up between them, collecting all 8 red coins for the star that appears right next to you. A very simple and chill star, which I very much needed after Tiny Huge Island. I can't get over how annoying that level was. The 100 coin star, I honestly thought was going to be hard at first, but ended up not being so bad. I'd recommend doing it while the clock is frozen so you can get the red coins at the start. You just have to go up the same way you have before, maybe take out some enemies for extra coins. Though what scared me was when you don't have the elevating platform to reach the top of the map. So you have to get up this by running one way on the platform, somersaulting backwards, and then wall kicking up to the platform above you. This leads to the pit and pendulum area with blue coins that make this 100 coin star really easy to get. I felt like a real gamer after that jump, even though it was probably the easiest thing ever for most. You can easily get the rest of the coins, and that's Tock Clock, one of the most goated levels in the game, and just an absolute classic. After that awesome level, you get to one that looks great, but was absolute hell for me. Rainbow Ride. It's definitely fitting for being the last of the main levels. I get that it's a kid's game, so it shouldn't be very hard, but I still had many annoyances throughout it. The drag of how slow it is riding the carpets really sucked. I actually did the big house and the sky star first, You have to ride a very long rainbow ride, and the first leads to a rotating platform section, and then the next leads you past many blocks until you get to a crossroads. You can go left to a ship and right to a castle. I went right to the castle first, and it leads you all around the castle, back and forth through the windows, back through the window, until finally escalating through the roof of the castle to a star. Now the other star you get this way is when you reach the crossroads, but you go left instead of right up a very slow spiral. You have to just jump over some wooden platforms a few times, and you'll get up to the ship. This honestly does look really cool, and it even has a crow's nest, which I think is like awesome. You'll later have to come back here, but for now you can get a star towards the end of the ship. The 8 red coin star is pretty simple for how goofy this level can be. You can go to one small part of the map across rotating platforms, and you can jump around many different platforms and wall kick up to certain coins. You just have to scale up through this vertical looking maze thing. It's not too bad. You can then go back down for the star. The 4th star is down from the start, but you can long jump to the different areas where 2 of the stars are. The first is just by going to the area going up seesaw-esque platforms, and also ride the swings that carry you from each side of the different platforms. You also have to deal with some falling wooden ones. You'll jump up some steps, go over some wooden platforms, and reach the star. The other's in the same area, but instead you push down a pressure plate that flips these triangles into platforms to jump on. They flip back quick, and this could totally dump you off of the map. I found it not that bad if you just jump up in between 2 of the platforms to skip some. And at the end, of course, you receive a star. The somewhere over this rainbow star is pretty fitting. You need to go back where the red coin star was, but instead go around the side of the maze. You have to wall kick very far up, and eventually you'll reach a pink Babam, who opens up the cannon for you. By the way, you can also do this sooner. This is just when I talk to him. But then you need to go all the way over to where the ship was and jump on it, make sure not to fall off, and then go up to the cannon. And you use this to shoot through a rainbow ring in the sky. Doing this lands you at a pole where there's the 6th star. Now, for the worst 100 coin star by far. There's way too many slow carpet rides you need to go on, and also so many ways you can just fall to your death after collecting so many coins. I personally sucked at getting the blue coins from wall kicks under pressure. The most I ever got was like 2 or 3. So I'll admit, that is my fault. And that made it a lot harder since I had to go all over the map for coins, and also do multiple carpet rides to get all 100 coins. I got it by the skin of my teeth, and I was just so happy about it. The relief I felt when I actually hit the star was crazy. And finally, I could say I've collected all the stars from the 15 main levels. Though there are just a couple secret stars I had to get real quick before the final battle. The first 3 I went back and talked to Toad in 3 different areas. He always has a nice little conversation and hands you 3 stars. You also can get 2 secret stars from Mips the rabbit, and the second one I had to come back for, and he was pretty quick. The other secret star before the final level is Wing Mario over the rainbows. It's in the other area that looks similar to how you get to Rainbow Ride. You will see many clouds and rainbows around, and also a couple stone places. You'll need the wing cap throughout, and you have to talk to a pink Babam to activate the cannon. Also, if you fall, it drops you all the way out of the sky to the lake outside of the castle. It's kind of ridiculous since it takes forever to get back to, and I had to deal with this multiple times because I suck. Though after figuring out how to transverse the area for the red coins, it gets pretty easy, and most are just on little cloud islands, and the cannon lets you get some really high up ones. After you do, you can go get the star, which I barely survived the landing to get. I'm so lucky I did not fall off. Now I can cover the final level of the game. Bowser in the Sky is the final level in the game, and where you take on the final battle. It also holds the 120th star, which is a red coin star. I won't lie, I got hit by a fire a couple times and ran off the side of the map. I do love the design of the map though. The cool background skybox and the good obstacles it places in front of you are really cool. And also, out of all the Bowser levels, the red coins are the most difficult. They're not super bad, just in weird places, like in a place you can't reach without a block, next to a side of a platform, jumping over an angled block above a moving platform, and even one under the small bridge at the end. That's only 4, but all 8 are in similar obscure places. They weren't too bad to get, but the level itself got me a couple times. You can collect the stars, and now at this point, I could say I collected all 120 stars, which is great. Though at the end, you'll come across some knockdown pillars and a bridge with Goombas. There's also some wind that's trying to blow you back, but once you get across the bridge, you can jump into the green pipe. This takes you to the final battle with Bowser. He has, of course, his final speech, confused at how you get all 120 stars, and takes you on. This time, he has a lot more moves though. He can jump and hit the ground, causing shockwaves, and also break parts of the platform that you're on. He has a lot of different flamethrower moves he can hit you with that have blue fires that bounce, and also regular fires that gravitate towards you. Some drop coins for health, which is pretty useful. But the most annoying thing he can do is sprint at you very fast. Mario can't run very fast to dodge. I did, but if you don't time it right, you'll get hit. What you need to do is the same as before. Grab Bowser by his tail, swing him around, and chuck him into a bomb on the side. The first time isn't too bad, and the second is the same. Though on the third go around, he decides to break all the platforms on the perimeter of the area, leaving a small star area in the middle of the map. So you have to gain momentum swinging him, and actually think to time it right throwing him. After the third time, Bowser will actually flip over, and he'll have his final villain speech about being taken down, of course, and then disappear into the last power star. You can jump into it, and Mario will get a wing cap and then fly around in the distance. It's just an awesome looking scene. You'll end up seeing a scene outside of the castle where Mario sees Peach again finally. She thanks him for saving her, as these games usually do. And that's it. Roll credits. This is the end of the game, and also after this, you'll meet Yoshi for getting all the stars if you have, like I did. He gives you the max amount of lives, which is pretty cool. There's also a speech from the developers to keep exploring. Some people overanalyze this, but I take it for what it is. Though the credits are awesome, showing all the different levels you've went through. All game. It's really cool seeing them all again, looking back on all the tribulations you had to go through. It's how I felt playing the game in general. It was a great time, but I want to get back to that main idea I started with. So first I'd like to start with this. I have a confession to make. The Super Mario 64 I played as a kid wasn't on the N64. It was on the DS. I know. You might be like, then how are you having like a retrospective about it? The levels were mostly the same, just newer versions of these. The reason this game still has a special place to me is because my mom bought me Super Mario 64 DS because earlier on she enjoyed the original. So she thought I would like the DS one. I was around 4 or 5 when she got it for me, and I didn't actually beat it until I was 10. For a while I couldn't get myself to play it, even though I found it fun, just because I had attached kind of some trauma to it. And I won't lie, I mean, that is the truth. But when I finally decided to, as a slightly older kid, I was really glad I did. I felt like I finally got that off my back, as lame as it is. I promise one day I'll go more in depth into this, but I don't want to just throw this out in a video. But that's the shallow surface of it. And every level that I played reminded me of different times I went through as a kid. Just different periods of when I was growing up and I'd open that version of the game again. Though now I'm going into my second year of college and I finally played the original. The way I decided to go through it was trying to collect every star to really thoroughly do the game justice. I know it's lame, but a game can mean a lot to me. In some ways, it's how I dealt with emotions as a kid, and this was one of the first games I played. And now to play the original, I feel great I did so. While the personalized AI thing is a complete hoax. To me, the interpretation I have for every copy of Super Mario 64 is personalized is true. I had an entirely different experience in my life when, where, and how I played it than anyone else. That's why to me, in a way, it's a real thing. And I bet all of you also have games that maybe you attach to different feelings that you went through or different periods of your life that you were experiencing at the time. You can think about them nostalgically and it takes you back. And that's what this was for me. I hope I don't get completely roasted in the comments for all the corny stuff I said, but it's really how I feel about it. Is everyone can have different feelings they attach to things. That's what makes a game like Super Mario 64 what it is. That's what gaming builds on in general. And I hope that maybe after this video, some of you can see what I mean. If you feel like it, comment about your experience with a game that's special to you. I always enjoy reading y'all's comments. And if you made it to the end and enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with my channel. I thank you all for the support I've received on these retrospectives. I've loved making them, and I'm thankful you people just watch my videos. I've been Colton, and thank you so much for watching. As always, stay safe.